Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Jo here, SportsGrid. Let's have an afternoon cup of Joe looking at the wildcard matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the LA Rams. Now, this one will be played in Arizona, and the LA Rams slight dog in this matchup, and I don't think they're a big enough dog here. Yes, they did get the win already this season, 30-20. Remember that face mask that was not called? Yeah, who can forget about that, especially if you're a Vikings fan? I do think this game goes the opposite way, and I'm looking for the Minnesota Vikings to win and cover the spread of 2.5, but I think you can ult this one up. Playing around with those lines, I could see them winning this one by a touchdown. So if you lay the 6.5, that's coming in at plus 164. If you just want to lay it 5.5, winning by 2 field goals, that's coming in at plus 144. And I do think both of them are nice ways to go. Now, looking at the Rams, it will be a hard battle for Sam Darnold, especially if he comes out completely flat like he did last week versus the Lions, but I'm not seeing that. Looking at the Rams, I do think they give the workload to Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams over 81.5 rushing yards. Sign me up, but I do think Matt Stafford's going to have to move that ball nice and deep here on the secondary. Of the Vikings, give me Puka Nacua for his longest reception over 25.5 receiving yards. Now, when we look at the Minnesota Vikings, Sam Darnold over 1.5 passing touchdowns, too highly juiced unless you throw it into a parlay. But if you want to take him over 2.5, I could see 3 passing touchdowns out of him. I think it's a major bounce back from last week. All the haters, all the doubters are just screaming that they told you so over Sam Darnold. I'm not buying into it. I do think he's a solid quarterback. He's coming off a terrible game versus Detroit. Detroit was all over him, putting that pressure. Can the Rams bring the same sort of pressure? I don't think that they will frazzle him. Frazzle? Yeah, frazzle is a word, right? Frazzle him as much as we did see the Detroit Lions do. Now, his offensive line has to give him the time. I do think he's going to make those connections with Justin Jefferson. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson to get in the end zone. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the Minnesota Vikings defensively have to stand up. I'm looking for this defense that has been able to record these sacks on the season and these interceptions to step up big. Give me the anytime pick a 6 here. The defensive touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings coming in at plus 700. Now, I do think Matt Stafford to throw an interception minus 122. Sam Darnold minus 128. I don't want to play Darnold because I'm riding high on the Vikings. If you want to take Stafford just for the interception minus 122, I don't blame you, but you can also look at who's going to get that interception. If we're riding with the defensive touchdown, there's 3 players I want to look at here for the interception, and you're getting plus money on each of them. Great plus money. So I'm going to put a third of a unit on each of them. So Gilmore at plus 550, Harrison Smith at plus 600, and Murphy here at plus 700. So those are my 3 players from the Minnesota Vikings that I will play on for the anytime interception. I will take the pick 6, a defensive touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings at plus 700 as well. Yes, I love defenses in this Minnesota Vikings team. They've been able to put that pressure